Ever wake up and think, man, my body just doesn't feel like it used to? You're not alone. A lot of us hit a certain age and suddenly feel like our bodies are trying to send us signals. Maybe your joints ache a little more, your energy dips earlier in the day, or your spark just feels dimmer. But here's the truth. That doesn't mean you are broken. It means your body is evolving. It is asking you to listen. And what if listening meant you could turn this next chapter into your strongest yet? That is what we are exploring today. Emma Aliza. Over the years, I have worked with many men who thought aging meant slowing down and stepping back. But what I have seen, and what I believe with all my heart, is that life after 60 is not about fading out. It is about stepping into something richer. In this video, we are going to talk about 6 powerful truths about your health. These are not boring medical tips. These are real, practical things that can shift how you feel, how you move, and how you love. We're going to talk about how to build stronger connections, how to keep your energy flowing, and how to embrace change instead of fearing it. By the end, you'll have ideas you can use. And maybe, just maybe, you will see this part of life in a whole new light. Let's face it, aging brings changes we did not sign up for. Hormones shift, energy dips, and intimacy? It starts to feel different, more emotional, less automatic. But nobody really talks about it. Most men are left guessing or feeling like they are the only one struggling. You're not. These changes do not mean the end of joy or passion. They mean it is time to adapt. Time to find a new rhythm that works for the man you are today. Let's be honest. Desire does not hit like it used to, and that could be a little confusing. You remember how it was back in the day. One look, one touch, and boom, the fire was there. Fast, strong, electric. Now, maybe it takes a little longer. Maybe it feels quieter. And that is not a bad thing. It is just different. As men, our testosterone starts to drop slowly after the age of 30, about 1% a year. And by the time we hit our 60s, that change is real. It is not just in your head. It is happening in your body. But here is something important. That shift does not mean the end of intimacy. It might be the beginning of something deeper. Intimacy after 60 becomes less about speed and more about connection. It is not just about what your body can do in the moment. It is about how you and your partner feel together. How safe, seen, and close you are. A Harvard study in 2021 found that over 60% of men over 60 still have a satisfying sex life. They are not chasing the same thrill they had at 25. They are adapting. They are being intentional. They take more time with foreplay. They focus on communication. They add things like zinc-rich foods to their diet. Pumpkin seeds, oysters, even dark chocolate. These are not magic pills. They are simple ways to support your body from the inside out. Some men find that having a quiet moment with their partner before any physical intimacy makes a big difference. 15 minutes of talking, sharing a memory, holding hands without any expectation. That kind of emotional intimacy is powerful. It helps the body respond. Because when you feel emotionally safe, your body can relax. It can show up fully. And this goes both ways. Women experience changes too. After menopause, estrogen levels drop, which can affect natural lubrication and sensation. So the journey becomes something you explore together. It is not about who you used to be. It is about who you are becoming. One man I work with told me he felt more connected to his wife at 68 than he did in their 30s. Why? Because they slowed down. They started talking more. They laughed together. They touched more often without rushing toward a goal. And in doing that, their intimacy became richer. Less performance, more presence. So if you're feeling frustrated, just know you are not alone. And you're not broken. Your body is asking you to try a different rhythm. One that honors where you are now, not where you were 20 years ago. Try this. Tonight, sit down with your partner. No distractions. No TV. Just talk. Or meditate together. Hold hands. Breathe. Let that connection build naturally. You might be surprised at what you feel. Intimacy after 60 is not about chasing youth. It is about leaning into something real. And when you do that, you might just find that the fire never left. It just needed a different kind of spark. Remember, every stage of life brings its own kind of beauty. Your body is wiser now. It remembers touch differently. It appreciates connection more deeply. And when you give it the care and attention it needs, it rewards you with warmth, trust, and closeness that can last even longer than the fire of youth ever did. Let's talk about something most people do not bring up until there is a problem. Blood flow. It is easy to overlook, but it affects almost everything, especially as we get older. When you were younger, your blood flowed like a rushing river. You probably did not even notice it. But now, maybe things take longer to warm up. Maybe energy feels low. Maybe you notice changes in intimacy. That is not just in your head. Blood circulation naturally slows down as we age. Arteries can stiffen. The heart may not pump as efficiently. And all of that can affect how we feel physically and emotionally. For men, poor circulation is one of the major contributors to changes in sexual function. But here's the good news. There are simple ways to support better blood flow without relying on complicated treatments. Start with something basic. Walking. According to the American Heart Association, just 30 minutes of brisk walking a day can lower your risk of erectile dysfunction by up to 40%. That is not theory. That is research. It is free. It does not require special gear. Just a good pair of shoes and a little consistency. Another great support? Food. What you eat matters. Walnuts, for example, are rich in an amino acid called arginine. Arginine helps blood vessels relax and widen, allowing blood to flow more easily. A study from the University of California found that men who added just 2 tablespoons of walnuts to their diet saw a noticeable improvement in circulation. Leafy greens, beets, and foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids like salmon or flaxseed are also fantastic. These help reduce inflammation and keep your arteries more flexible. The more flexible your blood vessels are, the better your body can respond when you need it to. And let's not forget about breathing. You might not think much about how you breathe, but it has a real impact. There's a technique called 4-7-8 breathing. You breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 7, and exhale slowly for 8. Doing this for a few minutes a day helps lower stress, calm your nervous system, and gently improve blood circulation. Try it before bed or even before intimacy. It helps you be more present and relaxed. One man I spoke to shared that after starting daily walks, adding walnuts to his morning oatmeal, and doing breathing exercises before bed, he felt more alert, more confident, and yes, more responsive in intimate moments. He did not change everything overnight. He just started small and stayed consistent. Blood flow might seem like a technical topic, but really it is about life force. It is what keeps your mind sharp, your body energized, and your connection strong. And as you age, paying attention to it is a gift you give yourself. So if you have been feeling a little off or like your spark has faded, consider this. Maybe your body is simply asking for a little more movement, better fuel, and some deep breaths. Nothing fancy, just small, thoughtful changes. Try for a week. Walk every day. Add walnuts. Focus on your breath. Then see how your body responds. You might be surprised by how alive you still feel. Because aging does not mean fading. It means finding new ways to thrive. Every step you take, every healthy meal you choose, every breath you slow down on purpose, it all adds up. And over time, those little actions help you stay active, engaged, and deeply connected with yourself and others. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture. Your body is not just a collection of parts working on their own. Everything is connected. Your heart, your mind, your hormones, your sleep, your digestion, even your mood. When one area is off, it affects the rest. That is why whole body wellness matters so much, especially as we get older. Take your heart, for example. If your heart is not pumping strongly, blood does not move the way it should. That means less oxygen, less energy, and less ability to perform during physical activity, including intimacy. Now, add in medications. A lot of men take pills for blood pressure, cholesterol, or depression. These are helpful, even life-saving. But they can also come with side effects, like lowering your libido or making it harder to feel aroused. Then there is diabetes, a condition that often creeps in quietly. High blood sugar over time can damage nerves and reduce sensitivity. That can make it harder to feel physical pleasure or respond the way you used to. But here is the hopeful part. Managing blood sugar can make a huge difference. A study in the British Medical Journal found that men who kept their glucose levels in check cut their risk of sexual dysfunction by half. That is a powerful result from something as simple as paying closer attention to what you eat and how you move. One change that makes a real impact is cutting down sugar. Start small. Just 1 teaspoon less in your morning coffee. Over a week, that adds up. Over a month, your body starts to feel it, and your heart will thank you. Another helpful habit is drinking green tea. It is full of a natural antioxidant called EGCG. This compound helps improve blood vessel function. The University of Tokyo did a study that showed people who drank green tea regularly had better circulation and reported higher energy levels. A warm cup in the morning or after dinner is an easy way to care for your body. Now, let us talk about sleep. Poor sleep throws everything off. It messes with your hormones, especially testosterone. Even one bad night can make you feel groggy, irritable, and disconnected. Quality rest gives your body time to repair and balance. Try going to bed at the same time each night, turning off screens an hour before, and keeping your room cool and dark. These small tweaks can lead to deeper rest and a more energized day. I once worked with a man in his 70s who felt like he was just existing, not really living. He had heart issues, took 3 medications, and struggled with energy. We started slow. He reduced his sugar, added green tea, walked 15 minutes a day, and focused on getting better sleep. Within 3 months, he said he felt more alive than he had in years. His doctor even reduced one of his meds. Whole body wellness is not about chasing youth. It is about tuning the instrument you have now. And when all the parts are in harmony, life feels smoother, lighter, more joyful. You're not trying to be who you were at 30. You're becoming your best self at 60, 70, or beyond. So here is the invitation. Look at your habits. One at a time. Pick one thing to shift. Maybe it has less sugar. Maybe it is more movement. Maybe it is a good night's sleep. Whatever you choose, know this. Small steps add up, and your body, your heart, and your relationships will feel the difference. All right, let's talk about something that most people avoid in conversation, but really should not. Masturbation. Yep, we're going there. Because the truth is, self-pleasure is not just about sex. It is about self-care, connection, and staying in tune with your body. Especially as you get older, it becomes more than just a quick moment. It can be a way to reduce stress, sleep better, and remind yourself that you're still a sensual being. A lot of men over 60 think they have to give this part of themselves up. Maybe they feel ashamed. Maybe they think it is just something for younger guys. But the science says otherwise. According to the National Institutes of Health, 70% of men over 60 still masturbate regularly. Not out of habit or boredom, but because it helps them stay connected to desire and reduce anxiety. Here is the beautiful thing. When you take the time to be with yourself, without pressure or judgment, You start to learn more about what you enjoy. You become more confident, more relaxed, and more present. This kind of awareness translates into better intimacy with a partner, too. You're not guessing or hoping anymore. You know your body, and that makes communication easier. And there's more. A study from the University of Sydney in 2023 found that listening to calming music while engaging in self-pleasure increased dopamine levels by 15%. That is your feel-good chemical. It boosts mood, helps fight depression, and makes you feel more emotionally grounded. So if this is something you have been avoiding or feeling unsure about, let me offer you a simple perspective shift. Self-touch is not about performance. It is about care. It is about checking in with yourself. And like anything else, it can become a positive part of your wellness routine. Here is a practical tip. Create a space that feels safe and calming. Turn on soft music. Dim the lights. Maybe light a candle or use a favorite scent. Approach this time with curiosity and compassion. It does not have to lead anywhere specific. Just be present. Explore gently. Try new things. Change the pace. Use a different kind of touch. Or even focus on your breathing. Notice what feels good and what helps you feel connected. This is not about rushing. It is about permitting yourself to enjoy being in your own skin. One man I spoke to shared that he started adding just 5 minutes a week to check in with himself. And over time, it helped him reconnect with pleasure with his partner and even with his confidence outside the bedroom. He said it reminded him that aging did not mean the end of intimacy. It just meant he had to listen more closely. And that is the heart of it. Listening. Your body still speaks to you. Your desires still matter. And when you honor that, when you take time to nurture it, you feel more alive. So if you have felt distant from this part of yourself, try shifting the story. Make space for curiosity. Let go of shame. And remember, self-care includes every part of you, not just the visible ones. Tonight or sometime this week, give yourself permission. Turn on some music. Sit with yourself without expectation. Let it be simple. Let it be kind. Let it remind you that you are still whole, still worthy, still vibrant. Let's talk about something that sneaks up on a lot of men as they get older. Loneliness. It does not always show up as sadness. Sometimes it feels like boredom. Sometimes it is just a quiet feeling that something is missing. You're sitting in a quiet house. The phone is not ringing. Days start to blend. You might not even realize how much you miss having someone to talk to. And let's be real. After retirement or the loss of a partner, your social circle can shrink fast. Guys, do not always call each other just to chat. We often bond over work, sports, or doing things. When those routines disappear, it is easy to feel isolated. But here is the truth. You were never meant to do life alone. A study from the University of Oxford in 2021 showed that men over 60 who had just 3 close connections were 30% less likely to experience depression. That is not about having a big group. It is about having a few people who truly see you. A neighbor, a brother, an old friend, someone you can call, even if it is just for 10 minutes. Those small conversations matter. They remind you that you are still part of something, that you still matter. Even hearing a familiar voice can shift your mood. It is like a little spark, and those sparks add up. One man I spoke with started calling his college roommate once a week. Just a 10-minute catch-up. At first, it felt a little awkward, but after a few weeks, it became something he looked forward to. They laughed. They shared memories. They even planned a visit. That one small habit helped him feel alive again. If you're thinking, well, I do not really have anyone, then let me gently challenge that. There is probably someone in your past who would love to hear from you. An old friend, a cousin, maybe someone you used to work with. And if not, you can build new connections. Join a walking group. Volunteer at the local library. Go to a community center. These spaces are full of people just like you, looking to connect. Connection does not have to be deep or dramatic. Sometimes it is just saying hello to the guy who walks his dog past your house every morning. Sometimes it is chatting with the cashier at the grocery store. These moments create a rhythm, a sense of belonging. And here is the beautiful part. When you open yourself to connection, everything else gets better, too. Your mood lifts. Your sleep improves. Your motivation grows. You might even feel more like reaching out to others in turn. Loneliness can feel heavy, but it is not permanent. It is not your destiny. It is just a signal, a little nudge saying, hey, you need some human warmth. And the good news is you can answer that call. So here is something simple to try. Pick one person, just one. Call them this week. Say, hey, I was thinking about you. Thought I would check in. That is it. You do not need a script, just honesty. Most people are grateful to be remembered. You're not alone in feeling lonely, but you do have the power to change it. And when you do, you might be surprised how quickly your world starts to feel a little brighter again. Let us talk about something that still matters, no matter your age. Passion. Just because you are in your 60s or 70s does not mean you stop wanting to feel connected, desired, and alive. But here is the thing. Passion changes with time. It does not disappear. It just evolves. It becomes softer, deeper, and more meaningful. And sometimes, all it takes is a little creativity to bring it back to life. When we are young, passion often feels automatic, fast, physical. But as we age, our bodies ask us to slow down. That is not a bad thing. It is actually a gift, because slowing down lets us feel more. It lets us pay attention to the little things that used to get overlooked. One simple way to spark passion again is to change the setting. Turn down the lights. Light a lavender-scented candle. Put on a favorite slow song from your younger days, the kind that brings back memories. Research from the University of Vienna shows that lavender helps the body relax and lower stress. That calm energy sets the perfect tone for emotional and physical closeness. Another powerful tool is memory. Try writing down one of your most tender romantic moments. Maybe it was a walk on the beach, a first kiss in the rain, a look across the room that made your heart jump. Reliving that memory in detail can stir something inside you. It brings those feelings back to the surface. A man I once spoke to told me he and his wife started sharing their favorite memories once a week over tea. Just talking about their best moments made them feel closer. And from that place of connection, desire started to return naturally. No pressure, no expectations, just closeness. Also, do not underestimate the power of comfortable physical positioning. A study from the University of Michigan found that 55% of couples over 60 reported better intimacy when they tried positions that were easier on their joints and backs. Simple things like lying side by side or using extra pillows for support made a big difference. Passion at this age is less about performance and more about presence. It is not about trying to prove anything. It is about sharing something real. And when you let go of expectations, you often find more freedom than ever before. So what can you do right now? Create a ritual. Maybe every Friday night becomes your special evening. Soft lighting, good music, a warm drink, and space to just be together. No goals, no rushing, just a connection. You might be surprised how something so simple opens up a new layer of intimacy. Because passion is not about fireworks. It is about warmth. Eye contact, a gentle hand, a shared laugh. You still have every right to feel wanted, to feel excited, to feel romantic. And with a little creativity, you can write a whole new chapter of your love life. Not as a copy of the past, but as something rich and beautiful in its own right. So, try something new this week. A song, a scent, a slow dance in the living room. Let yourself feel silly or tender or bold. Whatever shows up, welcome it. Because passion does not have an expiration date. It just needs room to grow in new ways. Let me say this plainly. Getting older does not mean you are losing your edge. It just means you are being invited to take care of yourself in a deeper way. These 6 truths we have explored are not just health tips. They are life lessons. They remind us to stay curious, to stay connected, and to never stop paying attention to how we feel. Think about it. A daily walk, a phone call to a friend, a few walnuts in your breakfast, a quiet moment with your partner. None of these things is extreme, but they change everything. They help you reconnect with yourself and with the life you still want to live. You are not fading. You are shifting, and there is beauty in that shift. So take it one step at a time. Stay open. Be gentle with yourself. And remember, it is never too late to feel more alive, more connected, and more powerful than ever. I've seen it happen with so many men. The moment they decide to pay attention again, to listen to their bodies, to reconnect with joy, something shifts. That shift is the real power of aging. We have talked through a lot today, and if you're still here, that tells me something. You are ready, maybe not to change everything at once, but to start, to take one new step toward feeling more connected, more alive, and more in charge of your health. These 6 truths are not about perfection. They are about awareness, about building a better relationship with your body and your life. You do not have to be where you were 20 years ago. You just have to be present today. Small things do matter. Whether it is getting outside for a walk, calling someone you miss, or adding one healthy habit to your routine, it all counts. And the best part? You are not alone in this. You are part of a growing community of men who are choosing to thrive, not just survive. If this message spoke to you today, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with a friend who might need to hear the same thing. And if you want to keep getting real, helpful insights like this, hit that subscribe button. Now I want to hear from you. Which of the 6 truths hit home for you most? Drop the number in the comments, and I will be reading and replying. You are not alone on this journey.